Hi, is this Herb?
Yes, it is.
Hi, Herb. This is Justin Kantor from soulmusic.com.
Hey, Dustin, how are you?
I'm doing great. How about you?
I'm doing wonderful, sir.
Great. Well, are you ready to be interviewed?
I'm ready to do anything you want to talk about.
All right. Well, it's a pleasure to talk with you. You've done a lot of great music over the years that I've enjoyed, and I was really happy and surprised to hear about the new album, Colors of Love. And
Thank you.
yeah, I've been enjoying listening to it the last couple days. Sean Ross just sent it to me the other day. So tell me about what inspired you to come up with this album, Colors of Love.
Well, I just wanted to go back into the studio and started recording again, and the producer, Bill Davis, found Monticello, and we went in and we recorded and spent the night. Is the single off? Off the album. Wait a minute, I'm still calling them albums, but they call them CDs.
No, that's all right. I know what you mean.
Okay.
So, this is released on a company that's out of D.C., correct?
Yes, that's true. That's correct.
Imogen, is that what it's called?
Yes.
Okay. So, was that a company that, was it a situation where you went seeking a record company to release it on, or how did that partnership come about?
Well, the CD was recorded first, and Bill got in touch with the guy that owns this label. Which is Bob, I'll just use his.
Okay, yeah, I'll look it up.
Yeah, and he wanted it, so they put the package together, and here we are.
Well, that's great. So this is your first album release in like 25 years, basically.
It's been a long time, but I've been touring, but I didn't think I had the time to go into the studio. So I just got the bug again, and here we are.
Yeah. So you still work full-time in law enforcement?
That's correct.
Okay. So kind of get to experience two whole different worlds, I guess, over the last few decades, because you've kind of been, in and out of music as far as the recording end a lot. Like you said, you continue to tour. I know you've performed with a few different Peaches.
Yeah.
So throughout all of it, I know you're a native of the D.C. area. Have you always resided in there, throughout your life, or have you lived around in different places?
No, the only time I ever lived any other place than the D.C. area was when I was in the Navy. I lived in New England. Okay.
So what is it, what kept you, for example, from, like, when in the late 70s and early 80s when you had the string of albums with Linda Green, and I'm sure you were touring and performing quite a lot. What kept you from, like, moving to, say, I don't know, New York or LA or one of the industry hubs?
Because I think those places have a lot of people who are artificial. Here in D.C., where I grew up, where I know everyone, I can talk and understand and know that they aren't BSing.
Right.
And I don't want all that status stuff. I just want to record, I want to sing, and just be me.
Yeah, I gotcha. It kind of makes the music have more real quality as well, I think.
Right.
So, I know you grew up singing in church, from what I've read, and
yeah, we all do.
Yeah, in some different neighborhood groups, I guess.
Yeah, that's true. Standing on the corner, singing with the guys, and then you form a group, and then you start doing talent shows. And I went to New York once with one of my groups to audition at N Records. That was the label with Lil Anthony, and they had the Chantels and all that stuff. We sang all of Lil Anthony's song, and the guy who auditioned us made one statement that I will never forget. He said, "We already have one Lil Anthony. We don't need two." So then I knew you had to be different.
Yeah, that's a good lesson to learn early on, I guess.
Right, yeah.
Well, and do you remember what producer that was that said that to you?
I have no idea, but it was at N Records.
Okay. Oh yeah, E&D, N Records. Okay, yeah. So you had quite, from what I understand, intervention of fate, I guess. A few years after high school, when you were working at a local record store, and you had a chance meeting with Van McCoy.
Yeah, well, see, I worked at this record shop because around the corner was the famous Howe Theater where all the acts came and performed. So what I did, I figured if I worked in a music shop, they'd all come around to check on their records, and I could audition for someone. And I kept asking and asking, and no one would really listen. So one day Van walked in, so I just started singing. And he listened, and he said, well, I'll be back next week with my manager. So I thought, here's another lie.
Right.
He came back the following week with his manager by the name of Dave Kaperlik, who also managed Sly and the Family Stone.
Okay.
And took me to New York with a group called the Sweet Things. The lead singer was Francine Hurd, which is...
Right, the first Peaches, yeah.
Yeah, Van recorded the group, Van recorded me, which my single didn't do diddly squat. He figured that, I guess he had some inclination that Peaches and I should go in and record together. We went in and recorded, and the A-side was a song called We're in This Thing Together.
Right.
Which did nothing, but a fellow in St. Louis by the name of Robert B.Q. Turned it over to Let's Fall in Love, and that took off, and that was a year later.
Yeah, it was really quick, and that was like an old song from the 30s, right?
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
It was an old standard.
Yeah, so it was so you put yourself out there, and it worked out good for you that you just sang for him when he came in. So you mentioned while you were working in the store during that time that you did want someone to hear you. So had you aspired since your childhood to have a career as a singer?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Singing in the church and everyone telling you he had a great voice, and as a little kid, you join these little groups, and you go and do these talent shows. The first talent show I won, I sang a song by a guy by the name of Ivory Joe Hunter, and the name of the song was When I Lost My Baby. I won $25, and I thought I was a superstar then.
Yeah. Well, it was big money, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah. So it just carried over. It's something I wanted to do, and I know that there are millions and millions of people in this world that never get the chance to do what they want to do. I have been blessed to do what I want to do.
Definitely. So after Let's Fall in Love, you and Francine were really successful, with Close Your Eyes and For Your Love. And you were on quite a roll there. But I guess somewhere not too long after that, she decided she wanted to concentrate more on family.
Right.
And so, is that what kind of put a stop to it for a while? Because I know it was within a few years that you had kind of went into the police force, I think.
Right. Well, what happened with me was that I just got fed up with the travel, trying to please every night. And during those times, you were doing one night. It's maybe 30 in a row. You sing here tonight. You got to drive 500 miles and try to get some sleep and do this and then drive 500 other miles. I just got tired of it.
Right.
Got out and became a cop.
Okay. So was that like another passion you had to be a cop, or was it just kind of a practical? Okay.
Yeah, that was another one.
Okay. And I wanted to ask you in those early days when you and Francine were touring, because that was right around the time that, segregation was ending, and I just wondered, how did that impact your experiences, because you guys became kind of a crossover act pretty shortly, like with Close Your Eyes. I think that crossed over pretty big to the pop charts.
Yeah, and Love is Strange was another one.
Right, yeah, the Mickey and Sylvia tune.
That really put us over the top when it comes to being a crossover act. Was Love is Strange. But during those years, we knew what hotels to stay in, because we would call ahead for a hotel, and they would say, yeah, they had room, and we would get there, and they would see that we were black, and they would say, oh, we're full. So, all those things happen.
Yeah.
But then as you travel throughout, I can't say all the South, but throughout the South and some places in the North, you knew where to stay, so that you wouldn't have to be confronted with this type of